I'd like you to meet a man who's a world-famed author, a lecturer, traveler, bon vivant, gourmet, gourmand, roue, and best of all, raconteur. I think we all know him by his dapper little trademark, a pencil-thin mustache. Would you all welcome, please, Mr. Martin Lasser. Maybe you should tell us how that happened, first of all, Martin.
You mean my dapper little trademark? Well, I just wasn't thinking while shaving this morning, and half my trademark went on the floor.
I might say Martin very graciously has agreed to go through with this performance, but he's canceled all others until it grows back out. We're very grateful to him.
Well, I checked with my doctor, and he says it will grow in about 2 or 3 weeks.
That's good to hear. What we want to get to, Martin, is some of those great stories that you tell as only you can. That, well, they have that Martin Lasser stamp on them. Could we have one right away?
Sure. Well, as you know, Larry, when I first started in this business, I was a cub reporter on the old St. Paul Ledger-Dispatch, Eagle Tribune, Courier-Citizen, Beacon Journal, Plain Dealer, Deseret News, and Daily Item.
That was a famous merger, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah. Well, I was in the city room there one day, and I heard the phone ring, and I heard the editor talking to somebody. It seems that there was a man hanging from the 15th floor of the Vaseline building over at 16th and Walnut. So I said to the editor, I said, could I go over and cover that story?
This would be a big break for you in the newspaper game.
Oh, I don't know. So he says to me, go on over and cover it. He said, take public transportation.
What was that, do you remember?
Trolley car. So, you know, about 15 minutes later...
He's still hanging up there then?
Yes, and there's a crowd of people there, policemen, firemen with nets and everything. And I said, well, now, has anybody tried to humor this man? You know, take his mind off his troubles, tell him a few stories, something, talk him back in.
Well, that's what they do at a time like that, I've noticed.
Yeah, they said no. I said, well, would you mind if I tried?
Let me ask you this. Were you known for having a sense of humor?
Not particularly. So I go in the building. They have the power turned off.
Boy, you have to walk up 15 flights.
I finally get up there, and there's a policeman standing outside the door that leads to the room to the window where he's hanging. And I said to him, I said, I've been authorized to go in there and to talk to this man.
Sure.
And he says, well, go ahead. And he opened the door for me. So I go in, and I go across the room right up to the window. And I said to him, I said to him,
What did you say to him?
I said to him, I said to him...
Well, Martin, maybe that will come back to you later on. We've got to keep moving. I remember when you were here once before, you had a great story about the fishermen off the Grand Banks and an experience you had with them. Could we have that one? Martin? Remember the Grand Banks fishing story?
Oh, yeah, right. I was doing a 1,500-word piece for a magazine on fishing in the North Atlantic.
That's the one I had in mind. Now, that's a rough, cold, rigorous kind of life, isn't it, fishing off the Grand Banks?
Well, it's not for me. Oh. We were up there in November, and it was bitter cold. And we're on a fishing smack the Rita B. And I'm just sitting there, and they're pulling in all this mackerel and cod and haddock and everything. And I look over here to the starboard, and I see this submarine surface with a foreign insignia on it.
Well, was this wartime?
No, but I see this thing happen. So I turned to the captain, and I said, Captain, I said, Captain, I said,
Martin, I hate to rush you again like this, but there are other things to be done, other guests waiting to come out here. Do you have one story that you do remember the ending to?
Well, I wrote one down.
Oh, good.
So I wouldn't forget it. It goes like this. Well, that's all right, sir, but this is Tuesday.
This is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, it is kind of funny the more you think about it, I guess. Now, what is the story that starts out and ends up that way? Well, I hope next time we invite you here, Martin, your memory and your mustache will both be improved. Martin LaSure, ladies and gentlemen.